approach to launching co-teaching in the Kern High School District began with examining our least restrictive environment, or LRE, data. I worked very closely with our SELPA director at the time to examine different ways that we could impact that data piece for our district. So we looked at co-teaching, put more push-in supports and services, learning center models, and at the beginning stages, we offered all of those options to our school sites to use as a way to increase LRE. As we got moving with those different types of supports, we found that co-teaching really was the most effective way of supporting our kids in the gen ed classroom. And not just students with IEPs, but all students in the classroom. And so we were very intentional around really launching district-wide with co-teaching to ensure that it didn't just look like something or become something that was used for special education, but for all kids. We brought in our partners with Supporting Inclusive Practices to begin with, to give us an idea of what co-teaching really was and wasn't, or is and isn't. So we've utilized the supports through SIP around co-teaching practices and models, as well as how to master schedule for co-teaching, because that is a very big challenge. And so that, along with just as much district-wide support that we could provide in terms of materials and supports and professional development. We utilized our friends at SIP. The knowledge that they have and were able to bring to us around the structures of co-teaching and the models of co-teaching were so beneficial. We had a lot of misconceptions around what co-teaching was, and so we were able to utilize their knowledge and resources to shore that up with our teachers. And then we've also, in the first few years, started a district-wide PLC for co-teaching. And so that group would meet monthly on Zoom, and we would have different topics of their choice, things that they needed support on, resources for, and just a community to talk about how co-teaching was going. Along with that, we provide paid weekly co-planning time for our co-teachers district-wide, as well as hours during the summer to build and strengthen the partnership. My advice for district leaders who are beginning to launch co-teaching is really communicate well and often. I like the sayings, clarity precedes competence and support precedes accountability. There were things we didn't realize that were misconceptions or things that were misunderstood about co-teaching when we started our launch early on. And so as we learned those, we really found out that we had to be very clear about what co-teaching was and wasn't, so that what we were calling co-teaching was truly what we were expecting to see in the classrooms. And to be very intentional about the master scheduling, as challenging as that can be, that really can make or break a co-teaching experience for the teachers. And to be able to provide them as much support and openness as could be. We really strongly encourage our site leaders to have an open door policy for their co-teachers to talk about what's going well and what their challenges are, because the sooner that they can address challenges, the better off the students will be in the classroom with that co-teaching experience.